For me, music is pure raw emotion. It's every emotion in any song. It can pump you up. It can make you sad and cry. It can drive you to reach goals. And not only that, when you get to do your own music, especially with lyrics, you can influence people in different ways. I guess there's a sense of responsibility that goes with that as well. But yeah, it's very influential, and to be able to make somebody feel an emotion just from music, it's amazing, because that's what made me love music. It's that country song it says, "Isn't it funny how a melody can bring back a memory, take you to another place in time, and change your state of mind?" I mean, that is music, and I love to be able to provide that. What I get from music, to be able to provide that for others, it's awesome.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Marathon That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And today, welcome to a special guest somewhere out west right there. We got the boys from Coalbreed. How y'all doing today?
Yeah. Copier. Yeah.
All right. In the Philly audience, we got Nick. Okay. JB. And Mark. Okay. So how boys been recently? What's new?
Lots. Playing lots of shows. Yeah. Writing. There's lots going on, man.
Yeah. Got a few shows on our schedule coming up in the next couple months, but yeah, keeping busy.
That's good. It takes your mind off things. So I guess where was your recent show at? Because I think I was checking out your page. I saw, I guess it was one in Idaho.
Mm-hmm. You played the Gem in Idaho Falls. It was the Sludge Metal Fest up there. So
that's good to hear. And I guess so. What's your other dates for? I guess you got some in July. You got any more this month?
So we got a couple this month. Next one we got is June 20th. We're going to be playing at Liquid Joe's in Salt Lake. It's the Salt Lake Metal Fest. There's like 10 bands, right? Yeah, 10 bands. They're going to be playing. It's going to be a pretty big show. And then the weekend after, we're going to be in Las Vegas. What was the name of that place again?
The Bonfire.
The Bonfire.
Go to Sin City. All that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Drake and gamble responsibly in that case. So, well, just to fill you guys in, the way it's going to work is I just want to ask you guys some questions, get to know you more both as the musicians, but also as the individuals as well here too. So, you all ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. So, as to this case, we'll start with Mark, and then we'll work our way down the line. JB, you can close it out. So, Mark, I guess fill us in your backstory. I guess, how did you become a musician?
So my family owns a music store. So I grew up working in a music store my whole life. But we mostly did pianos. And then when I was 13-ish, my buddies wanted to start a band. And so I was going to play bass. And then before I could buy a bass, somebody bought one out of under me. So I started on a little tiny crappy electric digital set. And that's kind of like where I started playing drums. And that band kind of went nowhere, but I kept playing drums. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it started, man.
I guess, is your family very musically inclined? It seems like it's either the family is or they isn't. That's the thing I kind of noticed in some of these interviews.
Yeah. I think honestly, it's more families who are inclined to put pressure to kind of like work up that skill. Like a lot of people will say, I'm not born with like that musical talent. And what I've seen with a lot of people, my family included, is just like, if you put the work into it, you can become musical. And so that was like a big thing, is all of the kids in my family had to at least learn piano like pretty well. And so that was a really good musical foundation that I was able to kind of branch off to the other things on. So.
Yeah, it's good thinking when it comes to piano too, since it covers all the major notes and everything else there too. So.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what's your backstory? And I guess what's your role in the band too?
I've been doing music my whole life. Started out children's choirs when I was a kid. I was in the Milwaukee Children's Choir when I was little, and just always been in either band, choir. I think my first band was when I was a senior in high school. Done lots of music projects, written everything from like EDM, dance, trance type stuff, to rock, metal. So I just kind of dabbled a little bit in lots of different kinds of music, but metal's always kind of been my focus, is what I like to do. So
I guess it was a 1 year.
And plays bass.
Oh, really?
Sing and play bass.
Oh yeah. I sing sometimes. Yeah, and play the bass guitar. Thanks.
Well,
That really fills in some blanks, yeah. So yeah, that's good. Actually, was it one of your family members that kind of introduced you to metal? Normally, it's not something you get introduced right off the bat.
No, so I actually I didn't start. So my first kind of heavy switch up, I really got into punk rock, and that was kind of my start down heavier music. I was really into punk rock for quite a few years, and it was actually by accident. I honestly think it was like during the whole MySpace thing. There were a bunch of bands that started putting up different projects that they had, and it just came across on my feed and checked them out. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know about this stuff. So, around about the late 90s, early 2000s, really got really heavy into metal, especially like new metal. So that's a big turning point for me as far as like things that I like to listen to.
All right. And I guess, JB, what's your role? And I guess, how'd you become a musician?
So I play guitar, try anyways. I actually started out drumming. I was a drummer back in high school. Just it kind of just felt natural for me. So I gravitated towards drums, and I loved the, holding down the beats and whatnot. And as I got older, my shoulders started going out on me. I actually stopped playing for several years around 97 when my oldest was born. Focused on work and everything, had nothing to do with music for a long time. And then came back into playing again, and my shoulders couldn't take it. And I didn't want to stop playing music. So I'm like, I'm going to learn to play guitar, and also I was an addict for a long time, and it kind of helped me get out of that, playing guitar. I was about a year into it, and I had nothing going on, and I was like, I've got to do something. So I picked up the guitar, and it kind of became my new addiction, and so I grew up listening to like hair metal, I guess you call it, Poison, Kiss, Motley Crue, all that stuff. And it came fairly easy. The solos were always challenging, but I wanted to be challenged more. And all this stuff like Killswitch Engage, Lamb of God, it was all brand new to me, but they'd been around for decades. And I'm like, holy crap, what have I been missing out on? And so that's what got me into the metal. And I just loved it, and it challenged me, and it forced me to become a better player. And so I happy to run into these guys like-minded, and it all just seemed to work. And it's pretty much got me where I'm at.
Have you been doing okay recently? I know it's kind of hard trying to shake off the addictions, all the other stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I've got 15 years now, so it gets easier every year, but it'll be a battle for the rest of my life, especially going into these clubs and everything else. You're always getting offered something, everybody's drinking, and it's nice, like I said, with these guys, we're all like-minded. They keep me centered, and I know they'd kick my ass if I ever do anything. So it's good to have a support system like that.
That's good to hear. Congratulations, mate. Keep going strong.
Thank you.
All right. So I guess let's go ahead and talk about Coalbreed in this case. So I guess who wants to do the honors of giving a history about how the band formed here and how you guys met?
I can start it at least. So back in 2018, I was approached by a couple of guys. I run the music store, so we are in a small town, and so there are very few drummers in the area. And I've been known as a drummer for a long time, not as a great one, but at least known as one. So I had a couple of guys who had a band already ask me to be a part of that project. So I started playing with those guys for about a year when our singer quit. And when he quit, we still were jamming, but we were at a standstill because we didn't have a singer. And so one day Nick came in and he knew that I was in that project, and he was asking how it was going. And I told him that it was going good, except for the fact that we didn't have a singer. And he just kind of looked at me like, and I'm like, bro, it's a metal band. Because I just didn't realize that he could do metal vocals. Because I had seen him in previous projects. I've known Nick for years and years and years. So, and all the projects were not near as heavy as what we were doing. And so I just was like, didn't even think to ask Nick. And I was like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. Like, so we tried it, and it just was kind of like a perfect fit. And so we wrote songs and played songs with a band called Black Corvus. So you can find that album still on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. And shortly after Nick joined the band, I was talking to JB again at the music store, and he's like, dude, like, what about a second guitarist? And so I brought it back to the band, and JB tried out, and it worked out perfect. And so he became a part of that band, and we did Black Corvus. From then, we played our first show in 21, I think, and we played all the way through 2024, when we just kind of had some creative differences with the other guys in the band. And so we just decided to kind of like leave that project behind and kind of move forward with this group that we were kind of all on the same page, kind of equal dedication levels on it. And so we got a new name and started kind of writing in the way that we've been wanting to write. And here we have Coalbreed.
Yeah. And technically, so we've been playing together for almost 7 years, 8 years, or
7, 8 years.
7, 8 years. But it was the previous project for about 6 of those years. But because we all kind of saw everything in the same kind of way, we decided to continue on. And so these last about year and a half or so, we've been Coalbreed.
I guess, which part of the states are you guys hailing from? I thought it said Utah in your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're from Utah.
It's called Eastern Utah, but it's kind of right in the middle of the state, really.
Yeah. Kind of center and
A little bit to the east, yeah.
If you go any further eastern Utah, there's nothing really there.
Get to Moab and all that, and then Colorado.
Actually, I didn't know if you were close to Salt Lake City. So
About 2 hours south of Salt Lake.
South. Okay. But I'd like to give a shout out to Free Bravo. I actually interviewed them. They're actually out of the Utah region in there as well, closer to Salt Lake City. So Craig's guy been go through a lot. So we get Greg a nice little shout out there.
Yeah.
So I guess, where did the name Coalbreed come from? Because it sounded like it was more of because of a mining town or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We our hometown around here, and our county is called Carbon County. So it was all the small towns around this area were all basically founded by coal miners, and that's how it got built up. So we still have a couple that are open in the area, but a lot of them have slowly been shut down. So it's kind of paying a little bit of tribute to where we're from, and what we're kind of surrounded around every day. So yeah.
And what kind of brought us together, because I mean, none of us would be here if it wasn't for coal mining. I mean, not that we're not all in the coal industry, but it's just like this town exists only for that. Like, it's now become different things. It has changed, and that's not the only industry anymore, but it's like that's kind of what brought us all together. And so it's paying respect, and just that's our heritage. We are the Coalbreed. So
Well, is this the part where we cue Pantera's Where You Come From?
yeah.
Hey, it works too. So, all right, that's all good. Way to pay homage there too. So, I guess this band, though, it didn't form during COVID, right? This formed like, what, 2023, 2024? I think you mentioned it earlier there, Nick.
So the actual band that we are currently was mid 2025.
Yeah.
I think early 2025 is when we officially reformed and
Incorporated. But the first show that we ever played together, all three of us with Black Corvus, was like just as people were starting to go out again and go to clubs. So the reason why we hadn't played music until 2021 was not because we weren't ready to, is because like there were no places to play yet. And so when we finally got in, that show was like people were they wanted us to still wear masks playing, and we're like, nah. So but that's how early it was that we were going to get in.
So we actually did get a show. We were ready to play a show, and then the lockdown happened.
Mhm.
So we were already ready to go. So we had to put the brakes on everything and just keep on practicing for however long. It was another year and a half before we were able to actually come out and start doing stuff again.
For some reason, as it was like the show immediately got canceled because it locked down. I heard Carpenter's voice in my head. It was like, God damn it. So
yeah, no, for real though. Just because we were really excited about it. Because it's hard to find. There's a decent amount of musicians in our area, but to find people that play the stuff that we play, it was a lot more difficult. And so it's kind of like this miracle that we're all brought together and we're all stoked to go and play some metal shows, and then all of a sudden just dang it. Yeah.
And dedication. A lot of people just want to stay in the basement and play, It's like, why? Crazy. Get out there and show off your hard work, So
that's for sure. But while we're touching on COVID right here, since we already talked about the music, I guess how bad was the COVID for you guys on personal and family levels?
Didn't really impact me that much, honestly. Like very little. I at the time I was actually working in the school district, so I just was working from home, and it was weird because we had to do a lot of video production and things. Honestly, that's where I picked up a lot of things about editing video and things that we have to do with the band now. So it's kind of a positive, I suppose.
Well, and I actually work in the coal industry, and I was considered an essential worker. And so, but I probably made more money during COVID than I have since. And all those damn checks they kept sending us.
I know, right? Terrible.
I know. So, yeah, it was, I got it 3 times. I got COVID 3 different times, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, when I first got it, I was freaking out. I was like, I'm going to die. But yeah, it wasn't bad.
Again, coming back to our small town, it's like most people did not really, our town didn't really get shut down. So like our music store, we were only closed one day that we would not have normally been open, and it was because I literally had COVID. So it's like I can't run the store. I run it with my family, and my parents were out of the store for 7 or 8 months just because they're older and both have heart conditions. But we didn't close, and my wife was a teacher at the time and just taught from home, and so yeah, it was weird. We had to get creative, but we kept playing music, and so it was good.
Life kind of just went on like normal, really.
Yeah.
Not much changed.
Yeah, so, just life with masks.
Yeah, that was the biggest change.
I think if they had given you a monetary challenge in this case, if you wear a mask for the whole set list, we'll give you extra couple $1,000 just for doing that.
Oh, man.
I would pass out, dude. The way that I'm playing drums, I'm literally so just I would pass out.
Swap it for an oxygen mask.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Oh wait, we upgrade gas mask. We do it that way too.
Yeah.
They look like a nuclear assault.
Yeah.
So
it would look cool.
It would, yeah. Actually, I was trying to think if the drummer from System of a Down had worn one during the music video Sugar, if it was some sort of gas mask or something, but it was probably just for show, maybe, but whatever. All right.
Probably took the filters out so we could actually keep breathing.
Yeah.
Gotta breathe, Bon. So, all right. But on a serious note, good to see you and the families are doing well there too. And good to see you guys are kicking some ass. So, but I guess from your perspective, I guess even from COVID and I guess even with Black Corvus and Coalbreed, I guess for the shows you guys have been playing, I guess it's like 2023. That's why I want to say COVID was like officially over. How's the music scene been from maybe some of the places you have been, like Idaho Falls?
Idaho was a surprise for me. They really brought it, and I didn't expect it. You know, I was pleasantly surprised, I'll say.
Yeah.
So,
That was probably my favorite show we've ever played. Like, it was just everything about it was well received. We sold a lot of merch. We had really good sound and really good lights. So yeah. It's funny, the further we get from home, the better we're received, if that makes sense. It's kind of funny on that. Just like when we go on these shows that are out on the road, we get, I don't know, treated a little bit different than our local shows.
Yeah. Well, it's rare when we actually have a local show. You know, we try to get some stuff going, but metal's just not as well received in rural Utah as much as it is. I mean, even when we go up to Salt Lake, it's not too bad. We still have a few fans here in our hometown, but it's just smaller town, less.
So you could disagree with me on this, but like I feel like it's less like the genre that we're playing and more that it's like, oh, you got this cute little garage band, do you? You know, like that type of mentality more than like the genre being a problem. Because we played a few shows that got a huge response here, like really good support and everything. But just like getting booked is a lot harder. And I think it's just because the local people, again, because we're pretty well known in the community too. So it's just like, when you know them, it's more like, oh, got this cute garage band going on. How's that guy going for you? You know? And when we go to places like Idaho Falls and Denver and these places, they have no background around it. And so they treat us like real artists, you know? So it's a good time.
We are.
I said they treat us like we are, not that.
they at least take us serious.
Yes.
They know that we came into town and we mean business. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. You know, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Some of my other interviews, because it's close to like the big cities, for instance, you think of like Tampa Bay, for instance, there's been a rise of cover and tribute bands. So I don't know if you've kind of seen something similar, maybe in your neck of the woods or even at Salt Lake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of tribute bands. In fact, one of the bands we'll be playing with in just a few weeks, they're a Pantera tribute band.
Las Vegas?
Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah, they're far from driven. So a Pantera tribute. But yeah, a lot of the venues I've been looking at, you know, just when we're trying to, you know, find some new shows, there's a lot of bands that are specifically playing like System of a Down or Korn, and they're just doing tributes.
One of our first shows, Black Corvus, it was Tool.
Oh, the Tool
cover band.
Yeah.
Shout out Scarlet Letterman, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
there's always been cover bands, and that's I guess the other trick that we've kind of dealt with too of doing other musicians. It's harder to find people that want to write their own stuff too, because I'm not saying that it's easy to be a cover band, because we've done covers. Like we just did an Aussie cover for one of the metal festivals that we played, because everybody was supposed to like do one Aussie cover. And it's not that it's like easy, but it's definitely easier than writing your own stuff. And so that's why, again, it's a miracle that we all kind of all found each other, is because we all want to write our own stuff. Like that's where it feels really good to be up on stage playing your own stuff, you know? So
It's still fun to play covers.
Totally.
It's just not the same, you know.
I guess what was the Aussie cover? I want to say either Bark at the Moon or Shard in the Dark.
Nope.
No.
I don't want to stop.
All
yeah,
right.
so
That's
we
good
still actually throw that in a couple of times, because it's a fun one to play. It gets a good response, and then the rest are originals. So
Well, for me, it kind of feels like my attitude towards all this.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
You know, you're either in or in the way. You know, don't make me because I don't want to stop.
Actually, I thought Rob Zombie's "Never Gonna Stop Me" would be like probably another cover to do. Got to describe JB in a good way. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I like
I'm saying
Rob
it was-
Zombie.
I would say it would be JB's idea then. So, all right,
Yeah.
that's good. So good to see the music scene's doing well. The boys keep going strong. All right. So I guess Mark, I guess in terms of influences first, I guess who would you say really kind of influenced your drum style? And I guess whoever wants to also give part two of this answer right here is for first timers who find out about Coalbreed, how would you describe your music to them?
Yeah, this is a struggle.
Yeah, so it kind of is. So I have like a ton of major influences. I would say like my number one influence would be like I love August Burns Red, and I always have loved Matt Greiner from August Burns Red. He's probably my number one influence on like the way that I play drums and what I'm trying to achieve with my drums. But growing up, I've listened to like literally everything. And so if you listened to like all of our tracks from Black Corvus, because we all were contributors on all of those tracks too. And so that's definitely part of our history and the current Coalbreed stuff. You can hear influences from all over the map because I grew up listening to classic rock, but I also listened to like show tunes. So like,
I get it.
I'm not kidding. It's from a chorus line. So and punk and yeah, I have like a huge span of things that I like to listen to, and you can hear punk influences and classic rock and grunge and thrash and metalcore stuff has been incorporated recently. You can hear the influence on there, but that was one of my favorite questions that we've been asked. We play a show up at the Metro, and they're like, okay, who are your influences? Because we could not figure out, like, you guys don't sound like just one group. It was kind of all over the place. And so to people who have never heard us, we're kind of hard rock, alt metal.
I've honestly been kind of just saying we're alternative metalcore.
Yeah.
Or alternative melodic metalcore, because like with my vocals, I do singing and screaming and more aggressive vocals as well. And you know, we have really heavy, thick riffs, but we also have some really
Clean
good,
runs.
clean stuff. So yeah, alternative melodic metalcore.
It's a new genre, which I like because I want people to be like that with us, because I don't really want to sound like anybody per se. But in the future, it'd be nice if new bands come out and they'll be like, oh man, these guys kind of sound like Coalbreed. You know, I think that would be awesome.
In which case we could say mission accomplished. So yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That'll do. So, but I guess Nick and JB, I guess who'd you guys really look up to in terms of musicians to kind of influence your play styles? I don't know if it would be like in JB's case, Jimmy Page or some of those guys.
Well, yeah, of course, Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin. I mean, this tattoo I got, it's actually the music to Stairway to Heaven. It's kind of a tribute to my mom and whatnot. But so my influence for playing guitar is a little bit different from my influence on writing songs. Because, I mean, I love Nuno Betancourt. I love, Jimmy Page. Zach Wild's a huge influence. I love his pinch harmonics. Of course, Dimebag. But as far as music goes, I love I don't know, Bullet for My Valentine, Killswitch Engage. I've been listening to a lot of Bleed From Within lately. Man, I want to write some stuff like those guys. Those guys are amazing when their work. So it's kind of, again, it's a wide range. My dad listened to doo-wop and all this other stuff, but my mom listened to the Eagles, Alice Cooper, Led Zeppelin, and so, yeah, there's a little bit of everything in there because I'm not just stuck in one genre. if it's good music, it's good music. I don't care, if it's rap, pop, rock, metal. Maybe show tunes might be going a little far, but
You were singing that song and knew a lot of the words. I'm just saying.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know that.
Yeah. I got everything. Like I said, I really started out with like movie music and things like that. So I really enjoy orchestral things. So there's a lot of movie CDs I got when I was younger, and that really got me into it. And like I said, doing choir and stuff as a kid, I was just always singing, doing something. But like when I started moving into punk rock, I mean, Rancid was a big influence for me. I mean, the Vandals was another one. Because they have that really raw kind of intensity with their voices. Sometimes they're just going to be yelling at you, but they can hold that note. So that helped me figure out how to get that kind of tone out of my voice. But as I moved into metal, I mean, Killswitch Engage was a huge influence for me. A lot of the new metal bands. So I listened to a lot of Limp Bizkit and Korn, Papa Roach. So a lot of stuff in the kind of rock and metal, that kind of stuff.
I was going to ask, how'd you learn to do the harsh vocals? I don't know if it was one of those, just taking a broomstick and then just screaming in your mirror, that sort of thing.
A lot of it was in my car with the windows rolled up. Yeah. I'd just blast tunes and just try playing around with my voice and figuring it out. It just took years and years of actually untraining my voice because I was classically trained. So I've been singing. So having to learn how to do the fry scream and the growls and the gutturals and all that stuff, it took a long time to retrain my voice how to do that stuff.
Hey, still doing a great job out there, boys. So, all right. So,
Thank you.
I guess now we can jump into the fun topic of gear that you guys have. So, I guess, Mark, what's your drum set?
Which one?
Yeah, which one, dude? So, okay.
He has a problem.
You got addiction.
I get this
But do you
stuff
have, like,
at
multiple
Cox.
ones?
Of course, I'm gonna get like a lot of gear. So I'll just like give you the basic rundown on my three main kits. So I'm a Tama guy. So I actually have my first nice drum set, and it's right there. So it's a Tama Superstar Hyperdrive Custom. So it's an all birch kit, super awesome. The black nickel hardware and everything, super deep bass drum. That was like my very first drum set that really like got me going on metal. And it was like a nice drum set. And then I got and still play these pedals. So I play the Tama Speed Cobra, and I also use the Tama Speed Cobra hi-hat, even though it just matches. So it just looks cool like that. I use pretty much all Sabian cymbals. I've got a few sets of those. Not for any particular reason. That's kind of what I started on, and they're an equivalent to all the rest of the brands. So I've just been really happy with the way they sound and play. Then I have my touring kit that I take around. That is a Tama Star Classic Performer. So this is the series that's half birch, half maple. So it cuts through the mix. Looks really cool. It's the Aurora something blue. It's a good looking kit. And that one just kind of lives in bags except for when we play shows. And then I've got the recording kit that I use, and that's a Tama Star Classic Maple. And I do take that snare with me though when we do shows, so I play that snare at shows. And yeah, I mean all Tama hardware, super heavy duty, really heavy to carry. And then I use Evans drum heads. The ones that I've been using mostly have been like I really like the EMAD bass heads. So I've used those, and then the HD dry snare, and I've used the Onyx heads on my toms, but I'll probably switch to just the G2s, which if you're into drums, like you're gonna know all those drum heads and stuff. But yeah, that's my gear. So Oh, and I've been recently using Woody's drumsticks. So I use the 5A long with the barrel tip. So yeah.
The way they were
I
making it
really
sound,
like
I feel like there was multiple sets. It was like one's for recording, the other one's for the live shows. That's what they kept making it sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one for practicing and writing here, the one for performing, doing shows, and then one for recording and practice at at my studio. So.
And honestly, I kind of appreciate it because that means less equipment has to get broken down and set back up while we're going back and forth between shows.
As I meanwhile, he's got like more drums than what a guy with like a whole arsenal of guns has, to be honest. Like we walk into like his basement or something like that. So
I didn't even cover all of my drum sets. Those are just my 3 main drum sets.
That's about a fraction of my power right there. That's what it seems
That's right.
like. So all right, I guess Nick. I guess what's your bass and what sort of mic do you use?
I sing into a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
basic.
It's right over there.
He prefers an Shure SM58 Beta.
Actually, no, that is the PV Diamond series.
I didn't say that's what you had. I said that's what you prefer.
A lot of the times it's whatever the stage gets me when I'm go up. I've started bringing this with me though because I like the way it sounds. But as far as my bass, it's SR.
It's a Ibanez SR300 EX.
No.
Yes, it is.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just SR. Well, see, I know my gear super well. No, it's a really nice bass. It's got the black. I know he's the guy that knows all the specs and everything. But
he is the spokesperson, so yeah.
So, yeah, right.
Right.
It's a really nice bass. And I run that through a couple of pedals. I do a little bit of distortion, clean it up with just a couple of random things, then run it in through my Fender amp. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing outrageous. You're the one with the fun stuff.
Yeah. I think my stuff's fun. So I used to have a pretty complicated setup. I'd run different pedals with suppressors and whatnot. Had my Horizon Precision Drive, and then I had a Digitech Whammy DT drop tuning harmonizer and pitch shifter pedal. But I run it through right now. I've got a Randall RG 1003 POS head, and it's going through a Laney cab. But the Randall head is garbage. It really is. I love Dimebag, and the guy that taught me a lot that I know on guitar, he had a Randall, but he probably paid a little bit more for it than I paid for mine. So I ended up having to get a distortion pedal because I get too much noise, feedback, or whatnot through that head. But recently, about 2 weeks now, something like that, I picked up a Line 6 Helix. And so I got the one pedal board now, and it's so simple and it's amazing. So it's got every pedal that I had on my pedal board and so much more. I was about ready to drop $3,000 on an Engel, a Savage Mark II, and we was able to find a tone on that pedal board that almost exactly matches that. So it was nice to save several $1,000s, And as far as my guitars, they're all Ibanez. I had a 7-string Keith Merrow Signature Series Schecter, and a Gibson Les Paul, and of course, I don't know. It's more about the pickups and whatnot for me. I just put in some Seymour Duncan Alpha and Omega pickups in one of my guitars.
Oh, you put them in?
Well, I had them put in. Gets the credit for doing the work, but yeah. And then the other guitar I got, and they're both S series. They got that Fishman Fluence in them, and man, they scream. They're beautiful pickups. I don't know which ones I like better. I like them both equally. So, but yeah, the S series Ibanez for me, it's a personal choice. I like that thin body. The necks, they're just really comfortable to play. And they're not 20-pound bricks hanging on your shoulder, So not like that Gibson. That thing's a brick for sure. So, and
that's a cool guitar though too, because that's a Slash signature model.
Yes, it's got the Appetite Burst, and yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. Again, that guitar has a lot more sentimental value than money value. It wouldn't matter how much it costs. The sentimental value and the reason I like that, it all ties in with my mom again. So yeah, I love having that guitar. Oh, and then I got an amazing Ibanez 7-string acoustic guitar that I didn't even know they made till Mark turned me on to it. And I had to have that. Yet to use it yet, but we'll find a reason.
It's hanging on the wall, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. It was like screaming at you, be like, don't forget me. So
no, I pick her up and play with her once in a while. So
I guess JB, so what picks do you use? Are they a specific lighter sort of fret, or they kind of got a little weight?
Wait. I bet you can guess.
What picks do you think I use?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see unless there's one for Ibanez. I know you mentioned. I thought I was grabbing it, to be honest. I don't know. I thought I was going to grab it. That's why I was hesitant.
It's the Jazz 3. The thicker, smaller picks.
We sell bags of those to metal players. I mean, it's just like the Jazz 3 they use it constantly.
It feels, they give you more control. It feels like you got better control of your pick, and
you got it.
Being able to hit those pinch harmonics and whatnot. It's a lot easier. And then I don't know what you call it, but you kind of turn your pick sideways and chop at your strings and bring it up. It gives you a really cool sound. With those thinner, bigger picks, they just don't give you the sound that the best sound, I guess. So yeah, I like the little Jazz 3s.
I'll say I would have no idea because I'm a drummer as well, so I relate more to Mark in this case. So
yeah.
Right. But I guess Nick, do you play with your fingers or do you also use a pick as well?
No, I use a pick. Unless I drop it, and then I use my fingers.
Ditto.
Yeah. I use the thicker picks, the Gators. I think I go with the 2 millimeter thickness ones, just the real
sheet thick.
Real
that's
thick. Yeah. Well, I got these monster hands, so I have to have something thick that I can grip onto,
They were like, she'd be thick. I don't do. So
everybody try not to laugh.
It's like hold it. And everyone just bursts out laughing. So So that's all cool. But the next question here kind of delves more to challenges. So I think Mark or Nick, I think one of you guys maybe had touched on it earlier, but it's the challenges these days, I guess. Would you say maybe financial, or is it just trying to get the shows and try to get the people out there?
All of it.
Yeah. So one of the big things that we've run into is like the pay to play model. So I mean, a lot of these places, they want us and I understand the thought process behind that. What I mean by the pay to play is like you have to sell a certain amount of tickets or whatever to be able to play the show or whatever. And that's great, except for when you're playing out of the area and you don't have fans in that area. For example, we got invited to play. We've opened for the band Raven before, if you're familiar with them, and we got invited to open for them again at Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, which would have been awesome, but we had to sell a certain amount of tickets to make it happen. And it just was like, we just don't have the fan base in LA yet, and so that's a big challenge is being able to sell tickets in the places that we don't have fans yet, and we're trying to play the shows there to get the fans. So it's kind of like a chicken and the egg challenge there.
That's what might get a little deep, but it kind of still sticks with challenges. I guess, given what Mark had just said right there, what is it really that keeps you guys going? And I guess whoever wants to kind of pitch in here too, unless you just want to go down the line with Mark, Nick, and JB. But what is it that keeps you guys going?
So honestly, I just think back to the show that we just played at the Gem. Is like the feeling that you get when for me it's all about playing those live shows like that. I like playing music, I like writing music, that's all fun, but that it's like it literally is like a drug playing these shows, especially when they're like that one that we just played at the gem in Idaho Falls. It just was like there's no other feeling like it that I've found doing something else. Like there's not another activity that I get the same feeling as a show that goes really well. So that's like probably a main reason why I try to push for these things that we're doing, is like that's the only way I get that feeling. So
I've just always had a draw to performing music. It, just like Mark said, the feeling that you get from it is, you can't really compare it. And not everybody's that way. Some people can't stand the thought of being up in front of people and publicly speaking, but for me personally, it's the best feeling ever, just to be up there sharing something that we created with other people and watching them respond to it in a way that makes them, happy.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I concur with all they say, and it just the love of music. For me, music is pure raw emotion. It's every emotion in any song. It can pump you up, it can make you sad and cry, it can drive you to reach goals. And not only that, when you get to do your own music, especially with lyrics, you can influence people in different ways. I guess there's a sense of responsibility that goes with that as well. But yeah, it's very influential, and to be able to make somebody feel an emotion just from music, it's amazing, because that's what made me love music. It's that country song. It says, "Isn't it funny how a melody can bring back a memory, take you to another place in time, and change your state of mind?" I mean, that is music, and I love to be able to provide that. What I get from music, to be able to provide that for others, it's awesome.
I'll say one more like selfish reason why. Well, my other reason was selfish before. So but another reason is like I was really plateaued out playing wise for like literally a decade. I would just go and play the same thing. I would just, for a long, long time. And ever since I've been writing music with these guys, like it's just pushed me to be able to do more. And so it's like that is another driving factor, is like this is cool because it's not only maintained drumming stuff, but I've been trying to push it to be able to do things I've not been able to do before. So
that's good to hear. Yeah, JB brought the mascot. Who's the mascot right there?
Nah, that's my
His
little
name is
killer
Jack
attack
Squirrel.
dog. His name is Oso. My mom wanted to, or my wife, she might as well be my mom, but my wife wanted to name him Bear, and I'm like, man, that's too obvious. Let's at least go with the Spanish route and name him Oso, because Oso's bear in Spanish, and she loved it, so it stuck. Mark wanted to name him Jack's Crow, but we kind of killed the crows.
Actually, we stoned the crow in that case, if we want to say that.
Right.
Way. So, all right. That's all good. So, I guess the last one before we jump into extra fun questions delves into the lyrics of the songs you guys have released so far on the streaming platforms. So, let's see. Severing Ties, Crossfire, and Timeline. So, I guess first off, who's the primary lyricist, or if you've all contributed?
Yeah.
It's all Nick. Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
I guess Nick, what do the songs delve into? And I guess gotta give a little history about each song, because it seems like you've released one so far, one each year.
we so far it's been, I think, about every 4 months. We
Give or take.
give or take. It just really depends on, as often as we're able to get them recorded and things. But
Yeah, I'd love to hear what these songs are about.
yeah, I'll bet you would. He doesn't listen to anything.
I do.
No, so part of it honestly is I kind of write in a way that I'm hoping that people can kind of get their own perspective on what the song can mean for them, because I do kind of layer ideas. But I mean, a lot of what I sing about, like in Severing Ties, is um, not feeling like you have to be influenced in one way or another, and that you should be able to make up your own mind. There's lots of different paths that you can choose in this life, and you got to kind of rely on yourself to figure out where you want to go and how you want to do it without having somebody else say, hey, you need to do this.
Don't be a sheep.
Yeah, don't be a sheep. Yeah, and choose what feels right to you. Yeah, because I mean, why else are we here sucking air on this planet if not to figure life out in our own way?
We all write our own stories.
Yeah. And Crossfire is best way I can say it is it's a personal motivational message to people. I don't know. I kind of want people to figure out what that kind of means to them. So I'm not going to delve into that one too much, but Timeline is very much about watching the world go by and sometimes feeling helpless, not being able to stop and smell the roses kind of thing, or forgetting to do those things that you might miss it if you blink. So it's very much personal journey, what's going on in your life. But again, I kind of want people to listen to it and get their own opinion off, how it influences them. So,
that's just like one thing that I appreciate the way that Nick writes is that, like, so I've got 2 young kids, and it's I want my kids to be able to listen to our music and not only be it like something that's just a baseline. Oh, okay, yeah, that wasn't a bad influence on them. I think it's really cool that it's like a positive influence on them, even though it's heavy music. So it's like we've always August Burns Red, I think, has the best shirt for this. It's like angry music for happy people, and so it's just like I think that's a cool way that Nick's done a really good job, I think, of like making that come across. So
normally I thought it gave like, oh sorry, what were you gonna say, Nick?
Oh, it's like you always say, we, with our music and our lyrics, we want to punch you in the face and then give you a hug afterwards.
Kick you in the gut, punch your teeth out, but put an arm around you, make sure you're okay, just so we can keep going.
I don't know about that. I don't think we want to be facing a jail time or anything like that. So,
metaphorically speaking,
let's not overreact. So, all right, but we want you to have fun responsibly in that case.
That's right.
So,
that's the main key, is having fun for us on stage and those in the crowd, or just listening to it at home.
Yeah, because honestly, like watching people moving around and getting in the pit and getting excited and having a good time, it's like, yeah, that is awesome. Just let's not kill anybody while you're out there,
I mean, technically, when it's heavy music, I think somebody's going to get hurt in the pit. So, some of the time, I should say all the time, some of the time. So,
yeah, people are pretty cool. Pull them up off the ground. Hold up your shoe if you lose it. So
don't be a dick in the pit. That's what we gotta say. Yeah.
Yeah, the metal crowd. Anytime I've gotten to a pit, people have gone down. People actually will make a hole to help the person get up and make sure they're okay, and then they'll go right back at it. It's actually kind of nice to see. It's not like AC/DC where several people got trampled to death up in Salt Lake a few decades ago.
The only person that's ever gotten hurt at a Coalbreed show was in Denver, and that was his own fault because he was just like totally plastered drunk, and he was getting currently ejected from the bar. So
there's always somebody. So Actually, what I was going to say earlier was, it seems like when it comes trying to transition into more of the heavier music, it's like you start off with the classic rock, and maybe a little bit of Metallica, because that's how it was with me. And you work your way to like alternative metal. Eventually, you work your way to more of the heavier metal, that sort of point. So take it nice and slow, Mark. We don't need to rush it. So.
Yeah.
I've liked, that's the thing is like my stuff did get heavier too, but I've always like backed off on the stuff that I like to play, you know what I mean? So it's like I'll listen to like Suicide Silence, Cannibal Corpse, Job for a Cowboy, like really heavy stuff. But then when it comes to the stuff I want to play, then it's like not that level. Like one of the drummers I'm most impressed by, I wish I knew his name, but he's the drummer of Whitechapel. I watched him play at Warped Tour, and he just was like ripping around. But it just was like, that was never the stuff that I was interested in playing, was that crazy fast and then like tons of blast beats.
Joan Jordison from Slipknot.
He doesn't do as many. Well, he's dead, but I mean, when he was alive, he was great. But I actually liked his balance of, he threw in some blast beats, but it wasn't like constantly. Whereas like for Whitechapel, I mean, it's always, you know. And so Eloy, their new drummer, I mean, I love the way that he plays. He's so cool. Like, he's really, really talented. And yes, there are blast beats, but I don't know. I like the way that they do it.
You like it spread out a little bit. I would say I'm kind of the same way. I don't like it when it's consistent. So, all right, that's all cool. All right, so boys, we went through the questions here pretty good. So we're down to some extra fun ones. So y'all ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so we'll just go by the same order we'll be kind of going. So Mark, Nick, and JB. But in this case, I'm curious if there's a particular dish I haven't heard about yet. So what would you consider your favorite food currently?
Steak, dude. Steak all day. Medium rare, thick cut, baby. No, like, it's got to be like a good enough cut that you don't need like A1. If I have to eat A1 with it, I might as well have just not have eaten a steak, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, that's my number one. I also love pizza. Pizza, almost any kind. I'm a thin crust guy, but I could also eat a fat deep dish, you know.
Yeah, so my wife actually manages the meat department at our local grocery store. So I get sick of steak, but I love it. Right now, honestly, I'm hooked on these Tyson frozen chicken cordon bleu. Oh man, they're bomb. They're bomb. Yes. Ah. Yeah, you got it.
I also the frozen part reminded me of this. I will never pass up any Uncrustable. It doesn't matter like what type, dude. Throw me any Uncrustable. It could be Nutella, it could be honey, it could be peanut PB&J, dude. Like, it could be the off-brand that's a square, even though it's meant to be a circle. I'm about that, dude. I will eat that all day long.
I have a little bit expensive favorite, so I don't eat it very often, but I really like sushi. Try to get it as often. I'm the only one in my family that likes sushi, so it's rare when we actually go and get it. But I mean, I'll do everything from the basic rolls. Dragon rolls are really good. Yeah, the ones that have flying fish eggs on them are always good. But yeah, I like sushi. I like a lot of different kind of Asian dishes, though. I mean, sesame chicken. That's probably one of my go-tos, or broccoli beef.
Good. Yeah. Sesame and orange chicken.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I thought it was supposed to be Szechuan chicken, or is that a different brand?
Just different sauce they mix it with, I think.
Okay.
Was the chicken cordon bleu your favorite?
Oh, right now it is.
Bro.
I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
I think at this point he's sick to his stomach looking at either a ribeye or another fillet sort of steak going on right there. So I would say
what is that though?
I would say working at a restaurant, especially with how long it takes to even cook just a mid-rare steak, I think you tend to not like looking at steaks anymore, to be honest, let alone ordering them. That's just me though. So I do work at a local family joint there too. So we get steak orders. It's a nice penny at times, but it's like, damn, this takes forever. So
yeah.
So
I don't order it from restaurants a ton. I'll just like cook my own most of the time, just because usually the restaurant cuts are not as like thick as I want it to be. Because I want to be like, dang, she thick, like that thick, you know.
He's making fun of my hand.
I'm being dead serious, dude. There's nothing better. Like, I've got, what do they call it? Filet mignon, when it's like those freaking. Ugh.
Yeah,
the bacon, bro, dude.
His little hands around
I mean that you. Well,
This has gone wrong very fast, to say the least. So, I would say avoid going to Ramsey. That was just one experience. It's $80 for a steak. I would say maybe conserve your money in that case. Otherwise, proceed at your own risk. So,
$8 for a steak.
I wish.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a filet mignon too, with some scallops and a little sauce on top. So it was still $80.
$8?
80.
Oh, I was like,
80.
yeah,
$8. I
swear. I go, bro, that is not beef. That steak was not beef, dude. That was the cat from the back.
That'd be the cat they got from the back alleyway in that case.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Nice the steak meowing.
Oh God. All right. But all good choices there. I guess outside of music and whatever your main jobs are, I guess what sort of hobbies do you guys do?
So music's gigantic. I mean, that's my job, and then it's also this hobby. But then I'm a big traveler. My wife's a flight attendant now, so we like to go and explore everywhere. So I travel a lot, and camping. I'm a big camping person. I also do it's like arts and crafts, but like more manly than that. So I have a laser that my wife calls me Laser Boy sometimes, which is a little demeaning, but that's okay. So I'll like make stuff. So I make a bunch for our merch too. So it's like this stuff that's laser engraved, I'll actually just do that. But I like making stuff and fixing stuff and riding motorcycles, that type of stuff.
I do martial arts. That's my side hobby. Yeah. Actually I own a martial arts school here in town, so it's hobby and also my job. So it's kind of cool. I get to do two things that I love to do: play music and do martial arts.
You ever do the Karate Kid?
So yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna kind of make the joke with the Karate Kid. Sorry, going on right there.
Train.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. A little fun history about that. That whole thing. It was created for the movie. It's not even an actual thing.
I figured. Yeah.
Just smash my reality, dude. What the heck? I was like gonna get trained to do that.
All right, JB. I'm
but
sorry,
yeah, so I do all kinds of art. I love art, whether it's visual or audio. I actually was gonna go to school for graphic arts. Got a scholarship for it, but I kind of pissed that away with my addiction. So, music kind of just took over. I used to draw all the time, but now I sit down to draw and all I hear is riffs going through my head. And so if I can't focus on it, it doesn't turn out the way I want it. So I just pick up the guitar.
I'll say this. I think JB plays the guitar more than anybody I know. So
I do. I spend majority of my free time I'm down here playing guitar. So it's the only way to get better.
It's like, oh God, we turned him into Dieback Daryl. So I think we're gonna say it's a very bad addiction if you take it to the bathroom afterwards. It'd be like, my riffs are the shit. That's their deal.
Yeah. Right. You ought to hear my voice recorder on my phone. It's got a lot of and I go back through periodically, listen to it just to remind myself what I heard in my head at that time.
Was I thinking?
Yeah,
this is
my delete button gets hit a lot.
I just forgot like my other main hobby. I also do stand-up comedy as like for real. Like I legit, because you said on it, notes on your phone is like, dude, I have this like notes filled up with just jokes, like joke ideas. So yeah, I write jokes and I do stand-up comedy sometimes. I'm not good.
This is why we don't give him a microphone.
That is true. I try to talk into my drum mic sometimes. That is true. I literally am like leaning down to the snare drum, just like trying to say something, and they're like, "We can't hear you." I mean, you did all of your mics between songs.
I mean, I will seriously give you $20 if you went boats and hose. That whole deal.
Yeah, I would do that. See, this is the problem. I would do that for free. You don't have to give me $20. I would just do it. Like,
I'm just saying, but it's always a nice throwback there too. Or that someone would yell in the crowd like, "Pay the fuck out of those drums, Mark." So
yeah,
something like that,
dude.
Catalina wine mixer.
I do. Sometimes I do like did you touch my drum set to like some of the other bands and stuff? And I'll like start measuring out like between my cymbals and stuff. So
Someone put your nuts on a drum set. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit funny to this day. So
yeah. No,
Right.
oh dude, legendary. That's hilarious.
oh yeah.
You gotta jump.
It's at least something with drummers can relate to in that case. So I mean that's
Yeah.
what that's mostly about. So
Well,
good.
these guys decided to prank me one time, and I came in and all my cymbals were flipped upside down. So I was just like, dude, what the heck? You touched my drum set.
Yeah.
All right.
You.
That's why you know they love you. That's the whole thing. So all right.
So they say.
That's how it goes. At least how it's supposed to go. So all right. So I guess for the next one, I guess in terms of movies and TV shows, you guys got a personal favorite between the two categories?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Too many. Too many.
I consume a lot of content.
Stargate SG-1, and movies.
Too many.
Yeah, I like science fiction and like Eureka movies like that. Warehouse 13. I don't know if you know of any of those, but yeah, I love like history, science fiction, UFO, ghosts. Yeah, anything tied to all that. So,
Have you guys ever heard of a show called Bananas in Pajamas? That's a real show, dude, and my kids actually watch it. Kind of rips, dude. No, I've liked a lot of stuff over the years, but most recently the kind of like world that I've been into watching has been like all the Yellowstone stuff. So basically, like all the spin-offs of that, I've watched all of Yellowstone. That stuff's fun to watch. Yeah, I like shows like that. I'll watch. Me and my wife are watching Alone, so like the survival shows. Sometimes I watch Pawn Stars. Just yeah, I watch like literally based on my movies and my music playlists and TV shows and stuff. You go, this guy definitely has multiple personality disorder. Like, there's no way that this guy likes all of this different stuff.
We'll be like, that boy ain't right. So yeah.
I guess if I had to kind of narrow it down, I'm a big fan of like the mind bender, sci-fi stuff. So like
He watches anime and that's it.
yeah, totally. Gosh, I haven't actually sat down and watched an anime in like 3 years or 4 years or something like that. He's just jealous. No, I like Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, Waking Life. You know, all the Matrix. Those are some of my top of my list, I suppose. The Book of Eli. I thought that was a good one. Watch some of the TV shows I like are like The Walking Dead. That's a pretty good show. But I actually watch a lot of documentaries and things too. On YouTube, me and my wife, we usually watch the Y-Files. It's a pretty good show. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. It delves into like all the things that people kind of like conspiracy theory stuff, and he'll kind of disprove it, or sometimes if he can't disprove it, he's like, I'll let you make up your mind. And I don't know, it's kind of fun to watch. He's been doing it for a few years. Pretty popular channel.
I think I probably watch YouTube more than TV as well. TV gets kind of boring. YouTube, you got anything you can think of, you've got it on there. So
we grew up on TV though, where we had to sit through the commercials. So
right,
yeah. So a lot of Home Improvement and Cheers.
That way, though.
It's starting to.
If you went back on my life's history though, and the movies that I've watched the most times, it'd definitely have to be Hot Rod and Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny. I have watched both of those movies an insane amount of times.
Somehow I thought that would have been more of a good inspiration for JB there, to be honest. Don't pick a Destiny, that sort of thing. So, actually, I had another
I've definitely
interview
seen Pick
today.
of Destiny.
Have you?
What was that?
Yeah. I was going to say, I had another interview earlier today they mentioned about Pick a Destiny too. It was the guitar player who was influenced because of that movie. So,
Oh, nice. See, actually, I watch a lot of like I don't know if I want to call them tutorials, but they're kind of like lessons or breakdowns of songs and just what the artist did when he was playing it. I watched a ton of that. So yeah, that's more inspirational to me than the Pick of Destiny. So
I don't know, dude. You guys are like electric dynamite.
yeah.
so it's but hey, that's whatever. But I do have to go back to bananas and pajamas. That's literally what they called it. That just sounds so wrong right off the bat, right there too. So I was like, this better not be what we're thinking.
Listen. Okay, after this, you go look up that show, and like you're gonna. I don't know why my kids like it. It's disturbing. I really don't like it at all.
It's like watching the Teletubbies.
Yeah,
It's weird. It's this uncanny valley feel.
yes.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then like that theme song is stuck in my head all the time. Bananas in pajamas coming down the stairs.
It's like, what are we doing? Oh my god,
Yeah.
It's wild.
we just traumatized the next generation. So,
Yeah.
Hope so. They need
Okay.
But it's like an old. I guess my wife watched it as a kid, and I was like, why would you bring this up out of the archives? Like,
go watch
Yeah,
Tom and
yeah.
Jerry. At least that one was funnier. So
yeah.
all right, but all good choices there. And if I lost the fun questions, I guess who you guys been listening to recently in terms of music, regardless if they're independent or mainstream? And I mentioned about a good sized playlist, so let's see what you got.
So I love August Burns Red. I always listen to August Burns Red. They have a new album that actually might be out. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but I've also the other big players that I've been listening to are Our Last Night. I love them. They're super, super good. Falling in Reverse. People have their feelings about Ronnie Radke and stuff like that, but the music's pretty undeniable. And then Her Last Sight is also, they're just kind of killing it, dude. Like I heard their music first, like scrolling through TikTok because they make some funny videos on it, but like their music is that's what's kind of on my playlist right now are those guys. And I mean I have all of my other stuff looping through, but if I like go and I pick something to listen to, those are what it's going to be from.
I mean, I have a couple of artists that I pull out pretty regularly. System of a Down's a big one for me. Love that band. I guess a little bit I Prevail. Some of their stuff, I really like some of their songs. Gosh, I don't know. I've even got some EDM artists. Nobody's really going to know who they are because they're all really underground. But yeah, just I don't know, hodgepodge of random music. I even have like what's his name, Appleby, I think his name is. Just kind of a independent pop artist. But it's got some good sound to it. So I'll even a good one I've been listening to recently is Resistor. They're kind of like they're really sludgy metal, but they kind of mix hip hop. They got a dude that does turntables in there, and it's really gritty, really raw. They're pretty cool.
So I've been listening to a band that I actually found on Spotify. There's recommended called Arsenic Kitchen. They're pretty good. Recently discovered, it's probably an older band, but Chimera. But so much Bleed from Within. Those guys right now have my attention. I want to play like that so bad. And so I've been listening to a lot. Yes. Those guys are amazing. So that's a goal of mine actually, is to get to a point that I can play their songs. So it's tough though. Those guys are good.
He just made it sound like he's going to start kneeling to the shrine and just start bowing, doing this whole thing right here.
Yeah. I'm not worthy.
I wish to become your acolyte. So yes, that'll do. All right. All great choices there, nonetheless. All right. So, boys, we're down to one more question in my podcast. I guess before we jump into that, would you guys like to ask me one question apiece real quick?
What kind of drums do you play, man?
Well, I'm more electric if anything, but I have played on an acoustic set one time for this cover band when they were doing like 90s, early 2000s sort of bands, Racketeurs, Zombies, and that sort of stuff right there. Mine is actually a Roland VAD 706, a little bit of an upgrade from my Roland TD 25K. So it's been just right over there.
What kind of
over
stuff?
A couple years.
Like, what kind of music do you usually play on it?
Well, it was kind of a little spoiler from earlier. So, but it is kind of this because I do love kind of having a nice little heart for racing as well as also challenging myself to play fast. So I've been doing I've been doing Morbid Angels, Altars of Madness, D-side right here with Scars of Crucifix, Immolations, Failures for Gods, and Dark Angels, Darkness Ascends. That's really what I've been kind of listening to. So in order to familiarize myself with the drummer's drum patterns, to say the least.
Sick. Me? Yeah.
Where are you based out of?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Born and raised.
Where in Pennsylvania?
Pittsburgh.
Bro, dude, that Pennsylvania is like metalcore city, dude. Oh, and my guitar, if there's like a metal. Are you laughing because I'm always talking? I would. Okay. So I used to have a JB Brubaker signature model, the JBBM 30, I think. Ibanez guitar, and the metal museum that's somewhere around there bought my guitar to put in the museum. So if you ever go there, that was my guitar.
There's also August Burns Red. They're out of Pennsylvania too.
Yep. August Burns Red, Texas in July. Dude, there's so many great bands that came out of Pennsylvania, like the Lancaster area.
I honestly wish we lived a little bit closer to the East Coast.
Bro.
I so badly want us to play shows over on that side. It's just logistically a process.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Try to figure out how
It's
to
just
get over there.
expensive.
It'd be a drive. So yeah. Unless you're able to fly. I don't know.
I'll fly there.
I'll tell you what, if you guys ever find a show out here, you're welcome to stay at my place if you want to.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right.
Shit, I don't know. Ford or Chevy?
You know, it has to be Fords. I've been having Fords in my life. So
Here's
my dad's idea. I'm sorry. Actually, I tried Dodge. So
Dodge is good. Dodge is good.
I can do a Dodge. So that baby's going to
I was
last
going to
another
ask
10 years.
you. I was going to ask GM or Chevy. See how you responded to that.
I'll say Chevy in that case. He did react kind of bad to it. So
they're the same thing.
I mean, if it runs, it runs. I'm just asking for the gas mileage. That's all I need.
That's the best answer.
Yeah. I've had Ford and I've had Chevy and GMC. So it's just whatever works and gets the job done, gets me from A to B. I'm happy with it.
Now you drive a Jeep. So
yeah, we
both.
Yeah.
So why bring up Chevy at all at once? I mean, you reacted like Chevy, not having a Chevy was like blasphemy or something.
Well, it is.
Well, if you ask my wife, I'm the black sheep in my wife's family. They're all Chevy people, and I drive a Ford. So
no,
he gets doused with holy water. Yeah, it's completely right. So, all right. It's all good. It's all good. But my dad, he's always driven Ford. Actually, now he's got Buick. So we've upgraded to Buick at this point. So
Buicks. Those are good for the Derby.
Is that my Buick?
We had a Buick. It was the best vehicle. It was a boat, but I'll tell you what, it was the smoothest, most comfortable car we've ever had. And it was like a 97 LeSabre, Buick LeSabre. It was comfortable.
That's pretty cool. But it used to be Fords, and now we've upgraded to Buicks. And then I've always driven Dodge. So she's going to keep me company for the next 10 years. So hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So being out in Pennsylvania, have you ever heard of Genmar Services?
I have not, actually. I guess who are they?
That's where I work, and they're based out of parts in Pennsylvania and parts in Virginia. But used to work for Fairmont Supply, too, and they're right out of Pennsylvania.
I'll have to check it out. I don't know if they're in and around Pittsburgh at all. Not familiar with the name, so I'll check it
No,
out.
Fairmont's done.
Well, the other one, Jedmar. I guess Jedmar. We'll have to see. Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess to be fair, was there anything else, or is it okay? We jump into the last question.
Hit it.
Let's do it.
All right. So, Mark, you can start off, and we'll work our way down the line with Nick and JP. But here's how I'll word it. So, given the amount of negativity that you've seen on the news and social media posts going on around these days, it really seems like people are being thrown into the darkness against their will. So, what would be your message of hope for musicians and people out there so that they could try to move forward with their lives?
Yeah, I just say stay away from social media and stuff like that. Truly, like it's I think comparison is the killer of all, killer of joy. And I think that people as a whole, we are all way more alike than we are different. And I think that if you can get involved in things that show that, like playing music and writing music, it's amazing, like all the different backgrounds of people that we've interacted with. And it's like we may not agree politically or anything like that, but we get along at a show and we can all mosh together. And I think that shows humanity again, like that we are way more alike than we are different. And so as long as you're kind of keeping your eye on that and seeing people as people and not as political pieces, then I think everything's going to be okay. But if we always pit each other against each other just because you voted a certain way or believe something, I mean, I think you're going to reap what you sow with that. I think you're going to be miserable with that when we have so much in common.
I would say do what makes you happy. Figure out what makes you tick, because everyone's going to be different. You have to do what you find. I mean, you got to find joy in living life. And if you're just doing the same thing every day and it just feels like drudgery, then that's exactly what it's going to be. So things aren't going to fall in your lap. They're not always going to happen the way you want it to. But you have to make the best out of whatever situation you're put in front of. And honestly, find joy in the little things. Because again, why are we breathing if we're not trying to do something positive in this life? I mean, yeah, sure, you could walk through your life being pissed off and angry at everybody and angry at the situation, mad about this political standpoint, mad about this religion, mad about everybody's always fighting about everything. It'd be much easier if we try to take those simple wins and just be happy.
So I don't have much to say that they haven't already covered, but people like to say diversity is our strength. The only way diversity can be our strength is if we find a way to unite it. We have to unite them diversities and be strong and be there for each other. Politics ain't who we are. It's a part of who we are. But like Mark said, we got so much more in common. And if we don't learn to talk to each other, be kind to each other, agree to disagree, we can't bring those diversities together. And that's what we need to do. We need to come together as one and stop letting outside, because I don't care what side they're on, they all suck. Politics sucks. Politicians suck. They don't speak for me. They don't speak for you. They speak for themselves. And so we've got to find a way to come together, because they will always be who they are. And we can't let them change us.
No. And it's great that we have all these different opinions and viewpoints from so many different people. Because I mean, if we were all the same, life would suck. It would be super boring. But it's when everybody feels like their opinion is more right, or like they have the right way to live life, I suppose. It's like there's so many different ways that you can find your call, I guess, in this world. And so it's nice that we can have conversations without having to feel like you have to beat each other up, So I like having the conversations, but sometimes I wish people wouldn't get so hard and fast in one particular direction.
Be more open-minded.
Yeah.
That's for sure. They had spoke like a bunch of true prodigies. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, boys, we have reached the end of my podcast right here. We talked a little over an hour and 20 some minutes. I guess before we close out, would you like to give any shouts to anybody real quick?
I want to give a shout out to Troy.
Yeah.
To Troy
Yeah.
Bra. He's a buddy of ours, more of a newer friend to me. These guys have known him a bit longer, but I wouldn't have my Helix without his help. He's been a big local supporter for us, and he's going through some stuff right now. And I just want to wish him luck and fast healing and a good, speedy recovery.
Yeah, we love you, buddy. Because we know you're going to watch this. So.
Right.
Shout out to all of our significant others for putting up with us and allowing us to do what we do. Because honestly, without them being our support and backing us up and letting us be the crazy musicians that we are, then I mean,
we couldn't do it.
We couldn't do it. Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a shout out to the producers of Bananas in Pajamas because they already took the ones I was gonna say.
See Mark up on stage dressed as a banana, you'll know why.
Yeah.
That's right.
And shout out to all the fans and people who've came out to our shows. We can't forget that.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Personal shout out also to my tribe, my group of friends. They've supported us over the years, been to tons of our shows, driven hours to come to our shows. So, tribe, thank you.
This is just
And
the trap.
you're right. I missed out on the people that have come to our shows and not booed us off stage. That was really cool of you guys. I appreciate it. And bought merch. That rocks. That is awesome.
I'm curious about Nick's little tribe right here too, because I don't think it's like Native American sort of tribes going on right here, but I guess it's just a group of friends. You people know this is a nickname.
Yeah, it's just a name we kind of call ourselves. We get together every week and hang out and BS and
Squish.
so it's they're good group of friends I have.
All right, fair enough. And lastly, for the audience, I guess, what social media and streaming platforms are you guys on? Any music as well, so they can check you out and interact?
All of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and post regularly. I actually am on almost several hours every day checking Facebook and putting stuff up. And but we're on Spotify. The couple tracks that we've released, and we're going to continue to do so as time goes on. So keep watching that. But yeah, Apple Music, you can find it there. We have a music video on YouTube, lyric videos up there too. And I actually just recently threw up a couple of snippets from our last live show up on YouTube as well.
I'd say did a good amount of praying on Facebook, so that's how I was able to find out about you guys. So good job. All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, so let me close out like this real quick. So everyone, my guests today were from Coalbreed, hailing from the state of Utah. We had Mark, Nick, and JB. They're all been kicking some major ass out there, so make sure you go check them out on socials, all streaming platforms. Let's continue to support these boys and their music out there, as well as Mark with his music store. So shop locally, people. Let's do it that way.
Right.
All right. But boys, you do stay safe because you know there's one pretty fucked up world out there. Rock on. And lastly, strike a pose for the audience. Stay tuned, y'all.